You know how that's set. Perfect. Give people time to come in. Take it back then.
I'm gonna get my phone.
All right, let's get it started. No, I ain't putting no mask on. This thing is bugging. All right, family. I'm gonna start off by saying peace, hotep, alafia, Islam. Oh man, it's a lot going on, man. Give people time to come in. Give people some time to come in, man. We're gonna do a little metaphysical talk. Gotta get my energy up. I'm kind of tired. I've been ripping and running all day. So I need people to come in. I need your energy. I know it's a lot going on. No matter what, it's gonna go on. I'll tough it out. Get some stuff together. Bear with me.
You live already?
Yeah, I'm already live. I'm trying to get this one thing to come down off my phone. I don't want it to be a distraction. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. I need to get my energy up. I'm kind of tired, so bear with me. I need some people to come in, chime in, join in, ask questions, whatever. It's gonna be Metaphysical Talk Saturdays. I'm Alchemist.
Black Moon?
You already know. I'm trying to wake up. I'm tired. I've been ripping and running. I need some energy, man. Y'all gotta come in. But there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And it's real depressing. Very depressing if you're watching the news. With this whole thing with these hurricanes. And you got the earthquake. You got the fires out west. It's a lot going on, man. It'll drain your energy, man. It'll weigh you down. And right now, there's a fear on the planet. And the energy of fear is very strong. It's affecting everyone right now, especially with how they got everybody in a panic in Florida, saying there's no reason not to be in a panic. This is a real serious matter.
Right.
It's a very, very serious matter. And I hope that everybody survive this or make it out safe. You know what I'm saying? If you lose anything material, it's just material. Let it go. Switch one to the left. There we go. Yeah, I knew what was up with that. Yeah, but yeah, it's a lot going on, and I want to talk about personal karma versus ancestral karma. If y'all see me looking down, it's because I got notes, and the reason why I have to use notes, because I said it before, my Mercury is in Aries, so when it comes to communication for me, I'm all over the place. So I might look down here and there to kind of keep me on point and keep me on the subject, because the way spirit and energy flows, man, like, you can't contain it.
Right.
So I'm going to try to keep this on point as much as I can, but like, yo, if spirit, ancestors place something on my heart, it's going to come out. You know what I'm saying? These are not my words alone. I am just a vessel. I don't know everything. If it's something that I can't answer, hopefully I can find someone to direct you to where you can get your answer. But like I say, I'm humble. I'm just glad to be a vessel. Matter of fact, we all vessels. It come through me, and if it don't come through me, it's gonna come through someone else. Point blank. So, but before I do that, I was Eddie, if you're watching, I'm gonna talk about what you want me to talk about a little bit. I'm gonna give it like 5 minutes, and I'm gonna go into what I want to talk about. You asked me to go in on this whole thing with this natural disasters, hurricanes, and things that's going on. My personal reflection on this and my personal insight on this is that there's a lot of goddess energy going on right now.
Absolutely.
Now, first of all, I'm gonna say that every event is governed by law. Whether it is man-made, you hear people talk about heart, or whether it's natural, it's still governed by a law. And that law is called cause and effect in this case. So every event is governed by a law. No matter what, whether man-made or natural, it still has to fall up on the law. That's every event, everything in this known universe, right? So what I've been picking up on, what's laying heavy on me, is a lot of goddess energy. Now, if you go down your Facebook timeline, you'll see there's pretty much a divide between the so-called, I'm going to go ahead and say, conscious community, or people that might be on your timeline that might be dropping jewels here and there, where you got some people talking about, oh, it's the government with heart. And then you got some people talking about it's spiritual things going on, the spiritual dynamics as far as like Orisha, like Oya. You know what I'm saying?
Yamaya.
It's a lot of Oya energy out there, but at the same time, there's some Yamaya energy out there too. And Oshun. And Oba.
Right.
All that play. And for those who've been following, you know, we had a tiger running loose in Henry County. Right? And that's here in Georgia. A tiger running loose on the highway. That's segment energy. I ain't gonna leave that out. So, my personal take on that, it's a lot of goddess energy going out. I believe that these now, because this is hurricane season, hurricanes are going to pop up, and I believe that there has been some tampering with the hurricanes, but I believe that it's been tempered so much that it's out of control, and now the tamperers are in a panic, and now they got everybody else in a panic, and I'm gonna leave it right there, because remember, law governs everything. Nothing is exempt from law or being governed by law. You don't want to be outside of law. You want to be in law. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be labeled as an outlaw. You know what I'm saying? I tell people, being that law governs all events and everything else, like when you violate man-made laws, there's penalties. Mm-hmm. When you violate universal laws, there's harder penalties. Now, some man-made laws might be considered rules. You can break rules, right? Rules change. Laws don't change. Universal laws don't change. So cause and effect is really at play with this whole hurricane thing. You know what I'm saying? So on that note, you got something to say on that?
Well, actually, with the solar eclipse that came through, we all were anticipating the energy. We were trying to, manifest things, and we were trying to bring things through, but those who were in the know understood that there were going to be a lot of things that came through with this that had a lot to do with repercussions from before. Like in politics, there's going to be repercussions for that. There's going to be repercussions in different types of behaviors throughout households, throughout attitudes within. So just like he said, in-law, outlaw, in-law, inside, and whatever you do inside will bring it out, and it has to either be positive or negative. A lot of negative attitudes and intentions will be dealt with a long time, and we had a pretty bad planetary alignment that came along with that and came after that. Anybody that's in a group, you see every day, I post the cosmic calendar to let you guys see how to conduct your day. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad all the way.
Wow. What sign was we under when the solar eclipse hit?
I'm sorry, say that.
What zodiac sign was we under? Was we under Cancer?
It was actually the sun was in Leo, but
right.
The moon was in Aquarius. Every zodiac has an opposite, and the polar opposite of Leo is Aquarius. Mm-hmm. One is about self and self personification and being out there, and and Aquarius is about rebellion, and it's about certain orders and eccentricities. So they were going to clash anyway. So.
Oh, okay. Because I was looking for as far as it goes, as far as the everybody's seen with the Hurricane Harvey thing and the flooding. So a lot of people are concerned about the water and the flooding. But if you understand what water is, the metaphor for water is emotion.
Absolutely.
So there's a flood of emotions going on amongst the country, not just country, around the world right now. You got a lot of people that's in fear. You got a lot of people that's emotionally hurt, a lot of people that's emotionally sad. You got people that's emotionally in pain. So there's a lot of emotion going on with the country right now. Like I say, the world right now, and it's not positive. You know what I'm saying? So with this flood of water that's coming in, the spiritual aspect of that is that there's a flood of emotional turmoil or
pain, stress
that's coming through with that.
There's a lot of things that's going on inside of that water. It's not just, because a lot of people will argue, oh, it's hard. Oh, it's nature, it's ancestral. How about it's all three? Because it's hurricane season. So these things are going to flow, they're going to come through anyway. And everybody understands, like, the most famous thing we all say and we all see in memes and, we hear is when Marcus Garvey say, look for me in the whirlwind. And, these are our ancestors and they're coming through. And these are our deities and their vortexes being opened. And there's a lot of shifts going on. And it's a lot going on, everybody. And like he said, we're dealing with water, we're dealing with air. Air cannot be contained. I don't care what you put it into, you cannot contain it. You can heat it up, you could cool it down, you cannot contain air. So we have a lot of elements going on with this, and we have to deal with it. Oh, and shout out to everybody that went through Harvey. Shout out to everybody going through Irma. We are still with you. We're watching. We're paying attention. We're doing spiritual things to heal. This is a healing time. I tell you guys this every day on the cosmic calendar. Healing. It's all about healing, because when we heal others, we heal ourselves. And this is what this is about. And that's another reason why it's a lot of water too, because like you said, emotions, there's love, there's hate, there's hurt, there's happiness. Everything revolves around water. And intuition, psychic ability.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. All right, on that note, I guess we'll get in what I wanted to talk about, man. Spirit laid it on me real heavy. Personal karma versus ancestral karma.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm going to clarify this first. When we talking about karma, we ain't talking about some evil demon or witch or spirit that's sitting in the clouds that's looking to bring harm upon somebody who does something that might be considered wrong or negative. We're not talking about it from an aspect of spookism. When you talk about karma in Sanskrit means action. So in metaphysical, we know it as cause and effect. And when you're dealing with cause and effect, you're dealing with actions and events. Matter of fact, a chain of actions and events. One thing leads to another. You reap what you sow. For every action, there's a reaction. There's a cause to every effect, and there's an effect to every cause. You can't have an effect without a cause. Point blank. That's the universal law. That's one of the 7 Hermetic laws, right? So, karma is also called cause and effect. But you know what it does? It brings balance to our life. It brings balance to the universe. That's what it does. It's not a punishment, like I said before. It's not a punishment. It's actually to put you through a situation where you're supposed to learn from your mistakes. That'll lead you in the right, the right direction.
Just 1 second. So when you're dealing with karma, you're dealing with, actually, we were talking, we touched bases on karma the other day. And when we did live before, and he touched on your karmatic debts and things like that. We come here with karma from past lives. We come here with karma impending. This is why we have certain numerologies that we have to work out before we even get here, we make these deals that we have to deal with karma, whether it's from past lives and we have a debt to pay, or we're about to build up a debt. So, we have to stay in control of karma no matter what move we make. Right. Karma is also, it comes in good forms also. Karma can be good, and you can reap what you sow. And I've been talking to you all about manifestations right now and reaping what you're sowing, because we just had a harvest moon. And it was talking about bringing in everything that you deserved. So if you did bad things, you will get back bad things.
Right.
If you did a bunch of good things for people and you were upright and you were outstanding, you will receive that also.
Right. I think, like I said, one of the biggest misconceptions is that people look at it as a punishment. You know what I'm saying? It is not a punishment tool. I mean, none of us can escape the consequences of our wrongdoings or our rights. You know what I'm saying? There's consequences of every action. And we all have karmatic debt to pay. Like every negative word, every negative thought, negative action, you build it up. You know what I'm saying? Like you were saying earlier, past lifetimes to the present lifetime, you don't want to make sure you jam yourself up for a future lifetime.
Absolutely.
So, I'm going to start it off like this. I remember being in a barbershop one time with some brothers, man. You know how men have barbershop talk. But in this particular barbershop, Styles of the Nile, Herbert Raniciel.
Shout out to our brother, Grand Governor.
Right. Off Cleveland Avenue, by the way. It was an elder in there, and he was he was on fire, man. He was dropping it. And we got to talking about clearing up debts. We was talking about karma. And I was explaining, I jumped in the conversation talking about the struggle that I had trying to correct something that one of my ancestors had messed up on the past, and how it was a struggle to try to get my family members in line, this and that, and all the whoop whoop and all that, right? So the elder looked at me and said, "What make you think that you wasn't the one that caused the trouble in the first place, or you the one that messed it up in the first place?" So I sat there for like 10 minutes, man, because that really hit me, and I had to think about it. Like, yo, for real, my karmatic debt and the struggle that I'm going through with trying to hold things together with my family, you know what I'm saying, on a spiritual and esoteric level, right, is something that I messed up in a past life, right? So I thought about it, and it hit me hard, right? You know what I'm saying? So that was actually how my personal karma of an action that I did was transformed over, and which actually became my ancestral karma.
Right. That
I have certain family members that's suffering from certain things due to something I did in the past, but it's my job to bring it here and correct it. I might have hindered somebody learning to somebody knowledge back then, so as a part of my debt, I got to sit here, study, and everything I learned, I got to put out. But I accept that. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying, like, we all got personal karma. Like, you got to be careful how you interact with somebody. Every interaction is either going to be positive, it's going to be negative. It's going to be either way. You know what I'm saying? Those negative interactions, like looking at somebody crazy, or that the altercation about the fight, this and that, yo, for real, what you do, you build karma. You know what I'm saying? But that's personal. Ancestral, on the other hand, right? The things that our forefathers done that wasn't positive or negative, or you know how they say sins of the father, that's passed on. We suffer from that. I have a lot of that going on within my own very family lineage that I'm trying to play a part in correcting. That might have been part of my personal karma. Or might have been part of somebody else's personal karma in my lineage. But you know what? We're going to get this thing worked on because the chain has to break. Right. That's what we call generational curses. You know what I'm saying? So those sins of the fathers, we got to nullify them. We got to correct them. When you look at, you might see that lineage, that family lineage, but they might have like real bad drug addictions, alcohol addictions, pedophilias, sex crimes, things like that. And you see a history of that passing along through a certain family lineage. That's what's considered an ancestral karma or ancestral curse. You know what I'm saying? It's something that has to be corrected there, because back to the cause and effect, as long as the cause is there, there's always going to be effect too. So to affect and correct the effect, you have to straighten up the cause. I hope I said that right, because I kind of went backwards with it. I hope I said that right. But the thing is, a lot of things is passed on genetically, like certain disease. You know what I'm saying? That say like two people might get together, right? And so like pass on a certain DNA trait or illness that might be in one lineage and it's passed on to the next.
Right.
So now it's in that family lineage that comes from out of that, right? And passed on certain diseases and things you weren't supposed to have within your DNA, within your blood. You know what I'm saying? We're going on that because we talk about that a lot.
Well, we talk about it because actually on my side of the family, we didn't have sickle cell. Nothing about sickle cell. I married him. It's in the family now. So, it's the sickle cell trait, not the actual sickle cell anemia. It's the actual trait that got passed along. And it's funny because in his family it jumps around and it skips. But the point of the matter is that's what he's trying to say. And also another thing that is in your DNA, criminal behavior.
Oh yeah.
People do not realize, they think that this behavior is taught, and it can be. But criminal behavior is passed down. It's almost like a survival mode that happens in people, and they just can't help themselves, and they pass this DNA down generations. Because if you ever notice, it'd be a long line of loan sharks or people, right? You know, people who I don't know, just really good with guns or thievery and things like that. These things are passed down. It's in the DNA.
I got a lot of that in my family. At the same time, we have a lot of, like, in my personal lineage, we have a lot of people that's, we have some people that are certified, what you would call a certified genius. Then we have certified criminals. Mm-hmm. We have people who were athletes. We got a lot of athletes in my family. And right when it's time to make that jump and go professional, something always happens. I'm talking about this has been going on for as long as I know. Something always happens. It's either an injury
or circumstances.
Or a circumstance. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That throws it off. And it's kind of crazy that happens. But in my lineage, people will be like, man, y'all curse, man, because y'all have some of the best athletes in your family. But when it's time to go pro, none of y'all can make that jump. You know what I'm saying? It's been happening. I was part of that too. You know what I'm saying? And it would be considered a generational curse. It's like nobody ever could make that jump. So it's probably some things ancestral that need to be cleared up. Somebody probably did somebody wrong. You know what I'm saying? Somebody could have did some madness. Somebody could have tried to put a spell or a hex on a family member, and it's been passed on through the DNA. These things happen. Oh, and that's another thing I want to talk about too. When it comes to spirituality, or getting into what we call magi or magic, the first thing that a person should try to, not try to. The first thing a person should do when they get into what we call magi or magic or spirituality, the first thing you should do ritual-wise is cleansing yourself and protection for yourself and your family. But when it comes to spirituality, right, a lot of us have lower selves. A lot of us want to get in because we want to send negative energy towards somebody that we feel wronged us, took something from us, right, or somebody that we just don't like. You know what I mean? A lot of us want to hex somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of us want to, you going to feel my power. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people get in that for that purpose. You know what I'm saying? And what you're doing, like, if it's not in divine justice, it's not going to go down anyway. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, you actually build karma, a negative karma on yourself that you will pay.
Right.
You do build that, and you're going to pay that. You know what I'm saying? I saw something go right there. All right, that's what happened. That was you. Yeah, you actually build a karma that you're going to pay. You know what I'm saying? That shouldn't be the first thing that you want to do is trying to hex somebody or jinx somebody when you come into spirituality. You don't want that type of karma because, like I said, when the pendulum goes that way, it eventually is going to swing back this way.
It's going to come back.
There is a cause to the effect. And believe me, the effect is real. You know what I'm saying? When we're dealing with spirit to matter. You know what I'm saying? What you do spiritually does have a physical effect to it. It manifests in the physical. It might not manifest the way you want it to, but it's going to manifest. So you got to be careful when you indulge into things like this. I advise anybody who feel like they might have to take up their tools. Now, don't get me wrong. There might be times you might have to take up your tools and get busy. But I say divine on the situation to
and make sure it is the divine justice.
Divine justice, right.
Make sure, because it will backfire.
Right. You better make sure Chelsea gave you divine justice on that one. You know what I'm saying?
Or even your ancestors, for that matter.
Right, your
they
ancestors
might not want to engage, because when you go into these battles, you have to call your army to do it.
Right.
And they're the ones that have to do it. They're the ones that have to pick up the tools, pick up the weapons, and they're the ones that have to fight for you.
Right.
You know, and don't go out there picking fights. I always have this thing with people who like to go out and pick fights, can't fight their battles, and then run and go get their brother, their father, their sister, you know, their best friend to go fight their battles. But the problem is, you might send somebody out there to get hurt or killed, or, you know, put them in severe danger. And this is the same way with spirituality. Your spirits just might not move.
Right.
You know,
right.
They have divine justice. They have to have a reason to protect you, because you might have kicked it off and started it. And they will not move. Right.
You're setting just your family and yourself up for a personal or ancestral karma. Karmatic debt that you have to pay.
Yeah. And this is why there is a certain humble attitude that comes with this whole thing. You have got to be humble when you're doing spirituality and dealing with karma. Because if you don't, your personal karma will turn into a generational karma, and then next thing you know, this is down in your DNA.
Right, DNA being passed on. And it'd be a repetitive pattern of bad luck, hard times. It seems like you just can't get out of a rut. Things just won't go right. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be about breaking these chains. And that's the thing with karma. Like I said last week, when we dealing with karma, we pay it through the things that we desire. You know, the things that we lust. You know what I'm saying? The things that we love. You know what I'm saying? That's how you pay your karma. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it's not a bad thing. It's about teaching you a lesson. Ultimately, it's what you set up. Like you said before, when you incarnate here and you got that contract set up with the universe, that's what you set up to come back here and learn a certain lesson and to pay off a certain debt. That's it, point blank. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I might have said that last week or not, but I was talking about like homeless people to somebody, right? And I'm like, you might see a man that's homeless on the corner and he bumming, and you be like, yo, how did he end up in this situation? And like, I'll think about it and be like, yo, in the past, he must have been a person that had a lot, that was stingy,
or he abused
arrogant,
his power,
or abused power, abused his wealth, or whatever. And the price that he got to pay is to come back here and live the life that he got to live.
And be humble.
And be humble and have nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it's real easy to see somebody that's in a hard situation and feel sad for them. But at the same time, you got to be careful, because if somebody is in the process of paying back a karmatic debt, you don't want to pour none of that energy on you either. That's why you got to be careful. And I say this all the time, like, especially with dealing with our ancient forefathers and ancestors, it was certain things that was going on in Europe that was a cleansing process. You know what I'm saying? That we got in and tried to intervene with. And because of that, look at the situation that we ended up in.
Right.
I.e. slavery.
Right. And we still haven't broke the chains on that.
We still haven't broken the chain in that, because our ancestors dabbled and did and got down with a lot of madness. Like I say, our ancestors weren't perfect. For one thing, like even before we even knew of other certain people in another land, we didn't treat each other the best either.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? We had tribal wars too. You know what I'm saying? We indulged in a lot of things we had no business indulging in. I'm not trying to go too much in detail on that, because that could just open up for a whole bunch of arguing and debate. That's a whole nother show. But the thing is, our ancestors weren't perfect. You know what I'm saying? For one thing, the birthright that we had over the planet, which was our responsibility, we neglected.
Right.
Because we want to carry ourselves like, other nations of people in this and this and that. And that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? But we got our birthright, man. We just totally laid it down. And we want it to be like everybody else, and because of that, we paying right now
And also,
and struggling to get it back.
talking about laying it down, our tools, spiritual tools.
Right.
We have got to pick up our spiritual tools. I'm not saying that everybody has to do rituals. Like most of the people in the group are ritualists. And we do some hardcore stuff. Like we get our hands, gritty. We get our hands done. But the thing is, you don't have to be hardcore. You can do light work. You can do meditations to do manifestations for your fellow man and things like that. You don't have to do real ritualistic work, but we have got to pick up our spiritual tools because right now we are outgunned. We don't have the ammo, and truthfully, we don't have the unity to deal with it. So again, and that's karma too. We are so apart. We're together, but we're so apart. One little thing can, it's like pulling a string on a sweater. You can just dismantle a whole sweater with one string. And in our communities, and everybody knows that. So we're going to have to really, really tread carefully with one another and with ourselves, because we understand our delicacies and our emotions and what we can mentally deal with. So we have to be strong within ourselves and understand when we're dealing with other people. They might say something or do something that might strike a nerve, but we have to learn how to not take everything so personal and work with our fellow man to pick up these tools, because it is about to get real out here. It's serious.
You gotta have discipline.
Absolutely.
You gotta have discipline. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have discipline. Wow, that's crazy. That one string, pull of a string could make the whole thing come apart.
Right.
When we talking about ritual, there's so many forms of ritual. It ain't always about what you might see in a movie.
Right.
Where you see somebody, doing something crazy that might spook or psych somebody out.
Right.
Nah, the real ritual takes place in the mind. What you see when you see people doing, like, whether it's counter work or, sacrifice, other things like that, that's a physical aspect of it. But the real ritual takes here.
It's all about intention.
It's all about the intention.
It's here.
Right, it's all about the intention. Matter of fact, that's what it is using your mind to manipulate energy.
Yeah. And to tie it back into the subject, karma.
And that ties right back in. Right.
It ties right back into
Right, it all ties, it all goes hand in hand because it all has one common denominator.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when you think about ritual, the ritual takes place here first. And then you do the little corresponding physical things that go along with it. So the ritual is only as strong as the intention of the mind.
I'd like to touch on something that just came to me.
Wow.
What about picking up other people's karma? You
Yeah.
understand? We really need to discuss that, especially ladies. Ladies, we have a bad habit of picking up other people's karma.
Right.
And it's okay to say, listen, I'm going to help you. But we do not have to put a cape on every time. If you understand that you are about to put yourself in danger, it is not your fight. Guess what? It is not your fight. If anybody has ever gotten into an airplane, the first thing they tell you is, if you are with a companion, especially a small child or someone elderly or anything, you put air on yourself and then you help the other person. And to some people it just doesn't make sense, but it does. It's self-preservation. Would you put yourself in danger? Do not pick up other people's karma if it is not yours. Okay? If somebody needs to handle things on their own, allow them to do that. You could be a listening ear. You can give a word of advice. But sometimes you have just got to keep your personal self out of their stuff. And stay out of it. Because now you're going to pick up somebody else's karma. Now what you might do is have their karma literally jump on you off of them, and you're carrying their burden.
So ultimately what you're talking about is energy.
Basically. Because that's all it is.
Right. So you can pick up somebody else's energy and pull it onto you.
Absolutely.
I mean, we do it all the time.
We do it all the time.
Especially ladies,
Impacts.
man. You got to be careful about the type of dude that you get sexually and emotionally involved with. That's when you're most open.
Men got to be
sexual.
Careful of that too.
Yeah, men got to be careful of that too.
They have an armor against that.
Right,
because
that's what it is. It's an exchange of energy.
Absolutely.
It's an exchange of energy.
But what men will do is they'll carry this around with them, and they're inserting it through the womb of another woman.
Right.
And they're taking it everywhere. They're taking it everywhere. And if they mix their DNA with this woman and next thing you know, they have children with them, guess what? You have walking entities of karma. And it's deep. It's real.
You looking at them wondering why your child is crazy.
Or spiteful.
Or you talking about your child got multiple personalities.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because it got multiple energies.
And then you have the
I was about to say something else.
I explain to people all the time when I do their readings about the karma of ancestors. Like when two people come together and have a child, think about it as sometimes you will have the debutantes with the hats and their legs are crossed, and then you bring in the pirates, and they're all at the table, and they're all trying to converse and just be around each other. It's just not going to work. So sometimes when you bring two people together, especially if you're not supposed to, and you go ahead and do it anyway, and you bring forth this child with all of these ancestors walking with them, and the ancestors are constantly mishing, moshing, and fighting.
Right.
What do you think the child is going to live in? Constant chaos all the time, because this is literally jumping on their heads.
Wow, that's crazy.
And people don't realize that.
Wow.
So what we end up having to do as spiritualists is we have to do rituals to literally separate the ancestors and put them on different sides of the tracks and put peace between them, because if not, that child will be in turmoil.
Yeah, you got to sit them down at the table and establish some rules.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's very detrimental. Believe that. You be seeing people, man, be like, yo, he bipolar, he got split personality, this and that. It ain't always that. It's the influence of the ancestors on them.
So that's also a karma that you deal with also.
Right.
You know, we have to deal with karma everywhere we go. You know, I call it tying knots. We have to not tie knots when it's not necessary.
Right. Time binding yourself to somebody for no particular good reason, you can carry that on to a future life to come up. So try not to tie no knots. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing that serious worth dealing with somebody in another lifetime. Believe that.
Especially if you're not even supposed to be with them, because we have twin flames, soulmates, things like that, you know. And that's a whole different conversation also. But you're now connecting someone into your... you are now connecting somebody into what you're doing in your later lives that you probably didn't even have to interact with at all. So
wow.
It gets crazy. Have to be careful
who
you interact with.
Yep. Every interaction is either going to be positive or negative. Don't let nobody else define what that interaction going to be either. That's why you have to master your circumference at all times and stand on your square. Point blank. Absolutely. Because you know what? You don't want to deal with the consequence. And if you're going to deal with the consequences, let it be the consequences that you set up. You know, take responsibility for what you do.
Right.
Don't be at nobody else's mercy. You know what I'm saying? I know it sounds easy to say that, and it's hard because sometimes, man, like, yo, I'll tell you, man, a lot of people I be wanting to punch in their face. Real talk, I'm real, man. A lot of people I be wanting to punch in their mouth. You know what I'm saying? In my head, I be like, yo, man, I can just vision myself like, bam. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta let that go. You don't want to carry that with you. You don't want that stagnant energy on you, because it'll weigh you down. It'll weigh you down.
It is an art of war.
There is an art of war.
There is an art of war.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times, what you claim that you don't like about somebody, it's not even a person. It's probably a situation or attribute about that person. You know what I'm saying? But it really ain't nothing personal. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing really that serious. So people got to get out of this whole thing about, oh, wow, we got that up.
Yeah.
You can go back to that? Oh, okay, that just tell you what's going on with that. Yeah, what a comment thing at?
Right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but that's what's going on with that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful how you interact with people. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to set up no personal karma or karmatic debt you got to pay, no ancestral karmatic debt down the line for your descendants.
Right.
To have to deal with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What was that?
It's an invitation. Just keep talking.
Oh, okay. I know what's going on with that. But because you can't see.
Keep talking.
Seriously.
Keep talking.
Keep talking. Keep talking. Yeah, that's what's going on with that, but I don't remember my mouth. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta be careful. We're still figuring this thing out, man.
I got it figured out. He's just.
Yeah, I'm new to all this. I'm new to all this. I'm used to talking on Blog Talk. I'm not used to showing my face. I was told I need to show my face, let people recognize the voice. They know the voice and the name, but they didn't know the face.
Right.
Well, I've been exposed. Yep. On that note, nobody got no questions or nothing, so I guess we can go ahead and sign out.
We will sign out.
All right.
Everybody have a peaceful night. Be safe. There's a lot of stuff going on out there. We have fires, earthquakes, hurricanes, and all kind of stuff going on. Everybody, please be safe. I know everybody could not get out of Florida, and there's a lot of people that's not going to be able to get out of the coast that's being hit. So please be safe. Make sure you guys stocked up on supplies. And, you know, I sent a blast out on a group page earlier for that. And please, 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 get your batteries, get water, get food, get things that are non-perishable. Please, please stock up, because even if we get through this is beautiful if we get through this. And we will. Winter time is coming, and we don't know what's going to happen with that. We don't know if we're going to have snowstorms, ice storms. We get locked into the house for days and days on end. You know, with no electricity or things like that. Make sure you have charcoal for grills, and, you know, please make sure you have everything you need: candles, flashlights. And I also said something about an emergency weather radio. I had never heard of an emergency weather radio until I moved down here to Georgia, but they have them. They sell them in Target. Please, guys, if you have to order these things, get them, because if your electricity goes out, you'll still be aware of what the heck is going on. You know, we're looking out for y'all. We're you know, looking at places where we can send clothing and do stuff like that. Please, guys, please make sure you are all safe. Be careful out there. And again, karma. Pay attention to that karma that's going on out there, okay?
Right, right. And be in tune with nature. If you're in tune with nature, man, you'll be all right.
Pay attention to birds. And cats, dogs, everything. Because we haven't seen any birds out at all today.
I've seen some birds, but not the ones with the feathers.
Okay, that's a whole nother show. But we are definitely going to, you know, pay attention to the little animals and things like that. If the animals disappear, we pay attention. We are, you know, you're about to get hit with something. And don't pay any attention to him. Yeah,
and we in Georgia, we got to be careful too, because I think Irma, the way it's going to hit on like the west of Florida and coming up the Gulf like that, it's coming right through the middle of Georgia up here to Atlanta where we at. So we got to be careful and make sure we stocked up and prepared too, because I believe we're going to get a lot of wind, a lot of rain, to say possibility of tornadoes, possibility of power outages for the majority of the state, from what I heard earlier. And they said we might get winds like the 80 to 90, almost up to 100, when they were saying like 60 or 50 earlier. So don't nobody really know what this thing going to do. You know what I'm saying? But it's a part of nature. Whether it's manipulated, tampered with or not, it's still nature, and it's still governed by law, because law governs all events. So as long as you within the boundaries of law, you ain't got nothing to worry about. You just don't want to be an outlaw. Oh, and if anybody is in Florida or anywhere, anybody have to deal with anything dealing with water, right? I don't know why so many people don't know this, but I saw a lot of people in Houston drowning or getting caught up because they don't know you're supposed to swim with the current. Don't swim against the current.
You get tired.
You go with the current. And that's how energy is too. I'm going to talk about that right quick. Yo, if energy is flowing a certain way, to reap the benefits of that energy, you swim with it. Don't go against it. Don't fight the current, because you're going to lose every time. And you're going to go under, which means you're going to drown. Okay?
Okay.
Point blank. So on that note, peace.